is Tony Karpovich for the company called True Energy Solutions, president of True Energy Solutions. And before, I want to get at the ins and outs of exactly what you do, but your eyes lit up as she was talking about all that.
Right, yeah, I had no idea of what the topics were today or any of the storylines, but geothermal is one of the products that we actually offer to homeowners through our energy assessments, and I personally have it at my own home, and we do between 30 to 40 units a year.
Wow.
You do have it at your own house?
Yes.
Well, let's get into that for a moment, if we may. Tell me, when did you have it installed? Has it been there since you purchased the home, or did you guys have it done?
Right after buying the home, that was one of the first upgrades I did. My wife got her kitchen that she wanted, and I got my geo system.
And what kind of money do you find that you might be saving potentially on the bills? I mean, is there a percentage, or I mean, how is it working out?
It ends out to be overall about a third of the operating costs of a traditional high-efficiency 95% forced air furnace.
So gas and electric, you're saving about a third off the bill?
There actually is no more gas.
Okay.
It's electric only.
Not even a backup?
No. The electric, if you need backup for sizing or opt to have electric resistance, it's all electric. So I have no natural gas at all at my house.
Okay. So if you lose your electricity, like say in a storm, is your geothermal system affected by that?
Yes. If you lose electricity, you're not going to have your heating and cooling unless you do have then a propane-powered backup generator or a natural. You can still keep gas attached to your house. If you're a foodie like Steve and you need your gas oven, then you're going to have gas to your house, but it's not necessary.
Alex mentioned the price of like $17,000, and I'm one of these bottom line guys. How long does it take for it to pay for itself?
Well, that's similar to what they're getting in their bottom line upfront install costs. Because traditionally, you're going to be between, depending on what system you're switching to, between $25,000 to $30,000 for most residential homes.
And does that
include? The one thing is with
the
federal tax incentives, it is a 30% uncapped federal incentive on renewables. Unlike what just passed was the 30% up to $1,500 for geothermal. It's still extended through 2016 as a 30% uncapped incentive, as well as being eligible for the NYSERDA incentives, which are an additional 10% off of the total package.
Great.
All right, let's find out what your company does, True Energy Solutions. The website is trueenergysolutions.com. Who, what, where, when, and why?
Well, the company we're a full-service home performance with Energy Star company, so it's all about energy modeling, energy auditing, and seeing exactly where a structure stands first, and then making recommendations as far as what makes the most sense for the homeowner. Is it a comfort issue or a cost issue that they're looking for, or is it they're looking at just totally going green, or if they already sometimes they just purchased a house and had their home inspection and they said I may need some insulation or I may want to have the furnace or the water heater looked at. But we go in there unbiased, look at the whole house, and see exactly how it stands for energy use as well as efficiencies, and show the homeowners what your options are.
Much different from just a basic home. Just to take a look, as you said, someone who comes in and just looks at the house.
We can't go in there and just give an estimate. With our accreditations from the Building Performance Institute, which is a national accrediting company, we have to do all the diagnostic testing and health and safety testing to be able to offer you any type of packages. Because we can't do shell improvements to air seal and tighten up a house if we know if we didn't test that your furnace is backdrafting or may cause a carbon monoxide issue.
I guess I just want to, you're not a home inspection company.
We're not a home inspecting company.
That's what I was trying to get
We're certified for doing energy audits. So I have 5 certifications from the Building Performance Institute, all about the heating, the cooling, the shell, the envelope, all the testing.
Okay. So you're basically going in, and I know a little bit because I've seen you guys operate on a house before. You put in the big fan at the front door, close up anything open, like any vents, any windows, and then you do
That's called the blower door test. So that's one of the more famous ones that people have either seen on This Old House or it's in a lot of the NYSERDA commercials. It's one of the main tests that we can do for checking air turnover, which is important for many reasons in a house. Because some people always say, well, can't you make a house too tight, or can you get sick house syndrome?
Okay.
And that's one of the tests that helps us justify what the airflow is. It also allows us to create such a negative pressure that we can use our infrared cameras and look in between the walls for air movement that's actually occurring between the walls, what you couldn't feel or even see with a smoke pencil, as well as it allows for whatever's going around window trims, door trims, baseboard moldings, and see exactly where it's occurring so we can actually attack those points.
Is that smoke pencil code for doobie or no? I don't know. Sorry.
Do you just do strictly residential, or do you have any?
We also do work with on municipal and industrial and commercial buildings. We've audited all the owned buildings for the town of Pittsford. We've done churches and things where we actually will consult with the organizations or towns and see what NYSERDA grants and funding is available for the analysis, as well as implementing some of the improvements that we come up with.
He is Tony Karpovich. He is the president of True Energy Solutions. The website, truenergysolutions.com, if you want to take a peek. I'm always excited to meet people who have found a niche.
Uh-huh.
And this is just very cool because it seems like you're onto something here. How long has this sort of look at houses and properties, how long has it been around?
It actually started just a little over 9 years ago when NYSERDA created the Home Performance with Energy Star program. The state was pioneers in the industry for incentivizing homeowners and utilizing Public Service Commission money to fund those objects. And I got into the program only a few months after the program started, saw that it was a niche market because I moved up here to Rochester managing one of the large box stores. And when I bought my first house, which was a nice looking house in 1964 Cape, to go out and find out it's the worst style house to have for heat loss and air turnover after one of these uninsulated city homes, there was comfort issues and a lot of things that needed to be addressed, and researched into it and started in the industry.
Cool.
Now, do you specifically relate to heating and cooling?
No, we have a heating and cooling division, but we do in-house. We do our air sealing, insulation work, windows and doors, heating and cooling, the geothermal heating and cooling. And then we also consult on things that we don't do in-house, which is solar and solar thermal, that I have very good relationships with our subcontractors.
So you have ways to, like, if you come to my house to do an energy audit and I say, I'm interested in solar thermal heating instead of geothermal heating, you can link me up with somebody who can provide me with that. Okay.
Or do you do this? I live in X county, and you come out to my house, hey, you might be better off getting a solar hot water heater versus this because your town will...
a lot of times people call us for one idea, not knowing where the house stands or what needs to be done. It may do everything other than what they were thinking about up front. When you're looking at anything, especially a renewable, you have to adjust the house in the right steps. Otherwise, you're not going to see the results that you were looking for, and it may discourage you from doing something down the line. So we look at the house, show you what the base load reductions are. So if you're looking at renewables, something like geothermal, where it's very high cost up front, you want to do your load reductions and put the smallest system in that's the most effective for your house. Instead of spending an extra $5,000 to $10,000 on a larger system, put $4,000 or $5,000 into load reduction and put a smaller system in that's going to give you much lower utility bills.
Walk before you run.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now that $25,000 for this geothermal heating system, does that include the installation, the fact that they have to dig up the yard?
Installed. So typical, we're going to be doing trench systems. So you can, depending on your landscaping attire, if you want a hydroseed versus grass seed or anything like that, you can go endless on any options available from there. But you're typically looking at $25,000 to $30,000 range for most residential homes, from 1,500 to 3,000 square feet.
Now, Tony, just to go back into the audit, the home audit that you do, you also use a heat gun, that sensor.
So basically, a lot of the testing in the audit is checking health and safety items as well as thermal efficiency. So we'll check your furnace and your water heater for gas, everything for all your gas lines for gas leaks. Check the carbon monoxide levels when it's fired up for combustion efficiency and health and safety items.
My walls, if I don't have enough insulation?
Correct.
Which
we'll go through the thermal imaging of your walls, get up in the attic space and look at the attics, look at where everything stands under normal pressures, and then do the blower door test, and then look at how the house is reacting to that. So some people say, my house feels fine except for when it's extremely cold or real windy outside. And we can simulate those and actually see what's happening and what's
awesome.
For it.
Okay.
Tony, when we come back, I want to ask you about a program called Green Jobs, Green New York that offers these energy audits at either free or reduced prices, because I think a lot of people will say, yep, I can get this done now. We'll get back to that in just a couple of seconds. It's Property Source Radio, Saturday morning style on PropertySourceRadio.com and Sports Radio 950 ESPN.